Okay, hello puppy huggers. Welcome back. You guys did great. It's nice to see you guys walking around the square, spreading the word. Okay, so we're going to start with some speakers. I'd like to introduce Linda Reider from the Michigan Humane Society. She's the director of statewide initiatives, and she also worked on this legislation, the Puppy Protection Act. She represents Michigan Humane Society's strong commitment to humane care of all dogs in Michigan, regardless of breed or living situations. Thanks, Linda.
Well, I think the applause goes to everybody that's here, dogs and people. And I want to, we are lucky enough to have Representative Vicki Barnett from Farmington Hills here. And so I'm going to turn over the podium to her in just a sec. State Representative Vicki Barnett is serving her second term in the Michigan House of Representatives. She represents the 37th House District, which includes the city of Farmington and Farmington Hills. Vicki is an outspoken animal lover and is sponsoring the Puppy Protection Act. She is on the front lines, yay, here in Lansing, always looking out for animals. So, Vicki?
Thank you so much for coming up today in support of the Puppy Protection Act. Now, those of us that are dog lovers or cat lovers or any kind of pet lover knows that the moment you take a pet home, that pet becomes part of your family, and it is a rare opportunity you have in life to have a friendship with another species. And it is one of the most, and you know that every animal has a different personality and they all do quirky, crazy, wonderful things. And the fact that you guys are standing behind this bill with us is so important because it's so hard to get legislation, good legislation I should say, passed out of this building. And with you behind us, I know we're going to get it done this year. Jill Fritz and the United States Humane Society, all you puppy protection people have been standing on street corners waving signs, and the Michigan Humane Society have been great advocates for us in our quest to make sure that every puppy is brought into the world in safe living conditions, that they have a chance to be adopted to loving homes, and that we can get rid of the horrors that occur on terrible conditions in puppy mills. Every animal deserves a chance. You guys are proving that by taking these lovely animals home. Those of you who serve in rescue teams, thank you also for rescuing animals out of homes where they're being abused. This legislation is really important because not only do we want to stand up for children and others who can't speak for themselves, but certainly we want to stand up for animals who can't speak for themselves too. Because the first sign of abuse in families usually occurs with somebody abusing an animal. You know that, and I know that, and we need to make sure that everybody who doesn't have a voice and every animal that doesn't have a voice gets a voice in this legislative process. So again, I want to thank you all for the work that you do that highlights this horrible situation for the animal control officers who walk into these devastating conditions and have to rescue animals and deal with the stench and horrible abuse that occurs there. I want to thank all of them too for all of their hard work and helping support this legislation. Again, those of you with your animals, I was really hoping to adopt someone today. And I didn't get a chance, so I'm going to go home and play with my lonely beagle who broke a window in my house yesterday. But we all love our animals, and we want to make sure that every animal is loved. So thank you very much.
Wow, what a heartfelt message. Again, my name is Linda Reider. I'm with the Michigan Humane Society, and I do want to say that I'm here to say Michigan Humane supports this legislation 100%. The Puppy Protection Act is not only good for dogs, it is fair to breeders. We've worked hard. It's got a simple message: register and take care of your dogs, the breeding dogs that are in your facilities. I spent 2 years, Michigan Humane has spent the last 2 to 3 years statewide traveling around, surveying, talking to all different types of groups: veterinarians, breeders, dog clubs, dog owners, animal control officers, everybody to gain their feedback. And you know what? They support this effort. We use their information to try to put together a bill that everybody can kind of get behind. Good breeders support this bill. My message to breeders who do not, what have you got to hide? The bottom line is no dog should suffer years in crowded conditions. No dog should not get veterinary care. No dog should not get exercise. These things are basic to all dogs. See, they agree. They're saying absolutely. And then to have their puppies sold for profit. There are good breeders out there, and they will support this effort. So thank you to Senators Vida and Jones and Representative Barnett and Schmidt for sponsoring this legislation. And we know with groups like this it will go forward. So the next person to introduce is Jamie MacAloon. Jamie MacAloon is director of the Ingham County Animal Control with their faithful group right here. The Animal Control and Shelter in Mason, Michigan. She has served in animal welfare for 24 years as a director and CEO of animal control shelters and humane societies in Michigan and a no-kill shelter in Oklahoma. Under her leadership, Ingham County has a zero tolerance for animal abuse and neglect. Her agency here in the Lansing area has investigated and successfully prosecuted dozens of puppy mills in Ingham County, resulting in the seizure of over 400 animals from those breeding facilities. She is a huge supporter of this legislation and an important voice, I might add, for animal control in the state. Jamie?
Thank you very much. Hello, Michiganders and those advocates who walk the talk. This was pretty neat, wasn't it? Well, what a great day for Pups Parade at the Capitol. First, I'd like to extend my gratitude to Pam and the Puppy Mill Awareness of Southeast Michigan for organizing this wonderful event, and Jill Stritz from the HXUS. And to Linda Reider from the Michigan Humane Society who worked on this Puppy Protection Act. I remember when Linda first presented this to the Michigan Animal Control Association 2 years ago when I was on the board of directors. And so it's really neat to be here today and see it come around full face. So I'm pretty excited about that. And of course, my sincerest gratitude to our legislators here today and for their support of these important pieces of legislation that will have a lasting impact on our pets in Michigan for years to come. Some might say it doesn't do enough, of course, this legislation, and there are others who say it's a slippery slope to more government control. And I hear that a lot. And when they say it to me, I ask them the question, first of all, did you even read the bill? Did you even read the law? Most often they say they didn't. They just base it on what they heard. Then I ask more questions. I said, would you deny your dog the simple necessity of exercise or veterinary care? Would you keep your dog in a wire cage stacked 1, 2, 3, even 4 cages high? Would you deny your pet a solid floor to walk on? And would you make them cling to a wire floor with their paws splayed wide open from balancing on the wire? Would you breed your dog every time it went into heat, or would you give it a chance to recuperate before you bred it again? The answer is almost always resounding, of course I wouldn't do that, of course not. Most responsible pet owners would never think of denying animals exercise, vet care, etc., right? Well, wrong. We know it's denied. It's denied to thousands of animals being raised in large and small-scale breeding facilities across Michigan. And as an animal control officer, I know animals are denied the fundamental necessities spoken of here today in such establishments because we do investigate them, we do seize them, we do prosecute them, and actually I have a little addition to what Linda said. I was going over the numbers again and I missed one big one, and we've seized an estimated 500 animals from the large-scale breeding facilities. They've all been prosecuted, but still, I have to ask those who oppose this legislation, why would you not support legislation that simply asks that we as caretakers to provide for the basic fundamentals? These aren't extravagant measures by any means. We're just the fundamentals to survive, the ability to walk without being on painful services, the ability to receive vet care, the ability to move about freely and exercise your limbs and your bodies. You have to ask yourself, and Linda touched on this also, who would not support these needs for what society has declared to be our beloved family pets, our family members, and our lifetime companions. Who or why could anybody possibly be against this bill? You have to ask that person that, and you need to. You need to ask them all the time. That's pretty much all I have to say. And I do want to emphasize to people, if you have animal control in your communities, I know a lot of you don't, you need to call them when you suspect that there is a puppy mill. And if they don't do anything, you need to call them again and again and again. And call the city commissioners or the county commissioners in that county to make sure something is done about it. But animal control is here to help. You just have to make them.
I want to make sure I'm introducing the right person here. So next we have Representative Joan Bauer from Lansing. State Representative Joan Bauer is currently serving her third term in the Michigan House of Representatives. She has lived and worked in the Lansing area for most of her life and is well known for her record of service to the community, which has included time spent as a teacher, as director of women's programs at the YWCA, as the director of the Lansing Community College Foundation, and 21 years as the Director of Volunteer Services at the Ingham Regional Medical Center. Welcome.
Thank you. I think that introduction will probably be longer than my comments, but I wanted to just step outside a minute. I'm on the Appropriations Committee, and we just luckily adjourned so that I could get out here today to add my comments. I want to thank the organization Michigan Puppy Mill Awareness Day and all the Southeast